I don't know. After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Just go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys had a good Friday night and you have a great weekend. I am doing an earlier stream today. I know. I'm taking the night off. Gonna relax a little bit. You know, just stay away from the YouTubes for the night, which everyone needs to from time to time. Anyways, we are going to, you know what? Let's not start that. How's everybody doing? I see the chat rolling. Paul Frazier, how are you? Abby, Bob, Mary, Heather. Yeah, Bubba, Leanne, Robert from Germany, Jedi, Tharina, Linda. We got Philip, Johnny May. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? And starting off good with the super sticker. Thank you, Pup Mom. Very much appreciated. Very generous. Thank you. Carrie T. James, welcome everybody. All right. I'm hanging out with you, silly. All right. Evelyn, Kelly, how are you guys doing? All right. We are starting off with Judge Middleton. Not the same person, not even close. We're starting off with Judge Middleton. Had a little landlord-tenant docket yesterday. He had a couple interesting ones. Picked the one that I like the best. Very confusing. Judge Middleton's confused. He's frustrated. Like, there's just nothing right going on with this case, and it's funny. But before I hit that play button, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. And as always, my link tree is in the description if you are inclined. Please and thank you. Let's go.
Anyway, no one appears for either room. Is this defendant still in
room number 28, Your Honor? Yes, sir.
All right, someone's logged in as Paige Martin. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Jonathan Martin. Can you hear me?
Yes, which case are you here for?
The one with Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth Martin. Okay. Where are you?
I'm at 1730 South Centerville Road, apartment 28.
All right. I didn't even know you were a part of this. Well, they filed a motion to evict you from room 64. They put you in room 28. You're not paying any rent and they want you to move. What's your position?
I recently had part of my finger shot off and I'm waiting on short-term disability.
Well, you're not even on the, is he even on the lease? This is in the name of Elizabeth Martin and all others.
I have my own lease here. They have the wrong name on this whole file. That's why, like, I'm so confused with what's going on.
Well, you're subject to immediate order of eviction, as in like right now. There was a previous writ of eviction that was to order in room 64. You didn't move and you didn't pay anything. They moved you to this other room so you wouldn't freeze to death. I guess the argument would be that established a whole new tenancy, but that goes under no good deed goes unpunished. So how do you get to stay there if you don't pay any rent?
As soon as my disability comes through, I plan on giving them the money that I owe them.
Well, they don't want to wait that long. Andrew, have we been dealing with James Martin?
Your Honor, my client indicates he doesn't even know that guy.
I have receipts and everything from the rent that I have paid in my name, Jonathan Martin. I've been here since July.
There was a change of ownership. Is Elizabeth Martin there also?
There's no my wife's name's Paige Martin. I don't know an Elizabeth Martin. I don't know what's going on here. That's why, I was just handed a piece of mail saying I had a court hearing today, and it's dated from the 22nd of January. Like,
All right, well, how long have you been? I thought this was going to be easy. How long have you been in room 28?
oh my, since October, beginning of November.
So you didn't get moved there because of the cold?
No, not that I'm aware of.
There was a change of ownership. Mr. Agnes, we do get some interesting cases out of here where nobody seems to know which way is up. So this tenant says he's been in room 28. He's not the named defendant. He's not Elizabeth Martin. He's Jonathan Martin. He's not the named defendant. He could be Elizabeth Martin and all others, but he doesn't know Elizabeth Martin, and his wife's name is Paige Martin. He's not in room 64. He wasn't given notice of that. He's in room 28. And he says he's been there since October. Your client says he doesn't even know who he is, and he says he's been there since July. So I'm confused. You got any?
We're all confused, Judge. Every last one of us is confused. Are confused? Anyways, this guy isn't on a lease. The owner doesn't know who he is. They don't have the right unit for the eviction papers. Yeah. I can see why Judge Middleton has no idea what's going on. Does anyone?
Enlightenment?
Your Honor, my client indicates no clue who this guy is. And this fella indicate he's been there since July, but then October, I'm not certain. It looks like he's losing track of his time frame, and if he's not paying, he's not paying.
That's true. When did you ever last make a payment?
Oh man, I'd have to go through my paperwork and pull out my receipts, but my mom's been helping me at least with once a month. Like she sends me
Don't
like
tell me how to build a watch. Just tell me when you last made a payment.
I'm gonna have to say like December 30th, maybe 27th.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't know what the deal is. The landlord says he doesn't even know who you are. Your name isn't on the complaint. Your wife's name is not on the complaint.
Would you like me to get out mail that I've received since I've been here? I need to find a receipt. It's in my name. It's man, I wish my wife was here because she keeps track of all this shit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is what I would do. If I was married and my wife's name was on the lease and we got a letter for eviction, she would be there. Be like, hey, wife, we got to go to court this day. Yeah. Or make sure you had all the necessary documentation to prove anything that you're saying.
Well, Andrew, he says your client handed him a piece of paper this afternoon and said, be in court. So was that your client that's with you now?
He indicates no.
Is that Will right there?
The son, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll say. So listen, when we first got here in July with my wife and we both moved in here together. She gave them her ID first. My stuff was packed up. It was 4 weeks later. It was like either August or like the end of July that I went to the office because I had to go get a copy of my ID. I was working at B-Dubs and I took my paycheck stub in there and my ID. They have my name. They have my wife's name. My wife's name is Paige Martin. My name is Jonathan Martin. This gentleman tried getting me like I don't know. He's not a very pleasant person to deal with, but I mean,
Andrew, who handed this gentleman a notice to be here in court?
You know,
it's a youngster with glasses.
okay, so you didn't hand it to him? Nope.
No, it wasn't him. It was a youngster with glasses. I can go outside and get him for you.
Well, did he cause?
It's just getting better. Now we don't even know who gave him notice. Who served him? Oh, I don't know. A youngster with glasses? No idea how he got served. The wrong names on the paperwork. The wrong units on the paperwork. None of these stories make sense. Now you know why I put this in here.
Was it to be served on him?
You said what?
Did your client have an agent or somebody give him something?
Did you have somebody give him a copy of this stuff? He's indicating no, Your Honor.
So this, I just made this up myself, this paperwork right here? What
No,
about
I'm
Mel,
not saying you
the
did. I'm
manager?
just trying to figure out what's going on here. The bottom line is you're living there and you're not paying rent. They want you to move. This is a common practice. People move in here. The rent is week to week and it's very expensive. It's over $1,000 a month. So people move in and then they immediately stop paying. Then it takes months for the landlord to get them out. This is really screwy because the other thing is you don't have a lease. They allege that they moved you, and there's none of this is under oath, from room 64 to room 28. You deny that. Somebody who we don't know handed you a notice to be here in court today. The landlord professes to not even know who you are. But you say that you've been there for months, and I tend to believe it. Well, who's the person that gave you the notice? Are they outside the door?
I want to look right now. It's one of the manager's workers out here. He brought me mail. He said I had a piece of mail because I took my dog out to the restroom, and he asked me to come grab it from him. So he was out here working in one of the rooms, and I come and he handed me this piece of mail from the 3B District Court, and it says Elizabeth Martin on it. Now my last name is Martin, and he was like, I don't know anybody else out here with the last name Martin. So I opened this, and thank God I opened it today because I have court today at 3:30. Like, all this is fresh to me. Like, I'm not.
All right. Andrew, are they allowed to have a dog?
My client indicates no.
Yes, oh my God.
It's a
I'm not the
motel.
only person out here with a dog. There's other people out here with dogs. Like, dude, I need to find the. Good, you're up. Hey, I need to lease. I need to lease for this place. So the thing that we signed when we first got here. My wife's here right now.
All right. Did you hear that? She's like, oh, good. You're up. All right. You've been saying she's not home since you've been on camera. You could see Judge Middleton's face. She's just like, what? Not only was she there, she was asleep. You could have just woken her up at the start of the hearing. Oh, yeah, right. Right, Jonathan? He's self-snitching hard. Self-snitching. I mean, if he thinks he has a dog, he's allowed to have a dog. You know, the excuse everyone else is doing, it's never going to work. You may have just gotten everybody's dog banned from the building by saying that. You actually find out who Elizabeth is. You find out in about 1 minute. It starts to make sense a little bit.
She's here.
And it's fun.
Hi.
This is 3B court. They're trying to say we're supposed to be up for eviction today. And the youngster that works out there just gave me this piece of mail today. That's dated from the January 22nd.
Yeah.
I just got it today.
I'm trying to think.
Where's that thing with all of our bills and stuff, babe? Will's trying to say that we're not even supposed to be here. He don't even know who we are.
Yeah, he does. Isn't that the one that Christian?
Yes. Hey, I'm gonna go to the office right now because I know Mel has the. Come with me, because he might need you because I know that Mel and the guy that's sitting behind you, he's the one that took my wife's ID when we first got here and made photocopies of it. So if they're professional, which they should be, it should be in the office right now, correct?
Well, I don't know. This is a mess.
This is a mess.
No
I'm
one's
sorry,
under
Your Honor.
oath. We're not taking any testimony. You're not paying any rent. I don't believe that you paid rent as recently as December. I think it's been weeks and weeks and weeks since any rent has been paid. There's a dog in there. The lease doesn't allow dogs. And they want you to move out. But in fairness to you, somebody laid this notice to court on you who you don't even know who it is. The landlord professes not to know who it is. And he wants me to sign a writ of eviction effective today. We need.
Give them 10 days, just like you would on a standard one.
But excuse me, Your Honor, am I not entitled to a due right process?
Yes, you are.
And I think that's what should be in I feel I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, and I apologize if I'm stepping outside my boundaries, but I do know that a due right process would be fair considering that this was just dropped on my lap and today's supposed to be my eviction day. Like, I have a wife and a 5-year-old son. Like,
all right, well, hold still. They filed a writ of eviction on room 64. You're not in room 64, you're in room 28.
Right, and I went from 18 to 28.
Stop. So I get a writ of eviction. Somebody crosses out room 64 and puts room 28. So I'm not just going to sign a writ evicting somebody from room 28. Mr. Rognus makes a representation from his client that they moved somebody out named Elizabeth Martin into room 28. That doesn't appear to be the case.
Oh my God. My wife's middle name is Elizabeth. They messed their paperwork up.
All right. Well, so.
All right. There's your plot twist. Now we just figured out who Elizabeth is. How do you not know what your wife's middle name is? How? Even if you don't remember it off the top of your head, when they say Elizabeth Martin, that would be the first thing that you would think of. Not, come on. Make it make sense, somebody.
Andrew, we're going to need to put people under oath and figure out what's going on here.
Sure.
This would be a perfect case for Meg Bauer. She loves unraveling.
I was just going to say, Judge, you have to
mysteries.
meet with him in the breakout.
Yes, sir. Do you wish to speak?
No, Mr. Patel, in case you need to take testimony.
No, I don't have time to take testimony right now.
Okay.
This case is a mess. I think Paige Martin is Elizabeth Martin. Either your landlord is not being truthful or he's confused or the defendant is blatantly lying to me, and all those things have happened. In the meantime, he's not paying any rent. When does your client represent that any rent was last paid on either unit 28 or unit 64?
One time. When was that? It was in July. It sounds that long?
Yeah, I think it sticks out, you know.
Okay.
He was attending thing, you know.
Okay. My client indicates it's been quite some time, several months, and they're not supposed to have a dog there.
Dude, I need you to find that. I can if the court would allow me.
Sit down in one spot. Stop wiggling around. You're making me nervous. I'm going to pass out from vertigo.
Sorry,
Stay in one spot.
I'm nervous myself. I'm sitting down.
We're going to set a hearing on this. We're going to put people in the courtroom. We're going to bring them over here. You're living there. You have not paid rent in months, is what I believe to be true. I don't know whether they moved you out of that unit or into this unit. I also know you're not supposed to have a dog. even though other people in there may have a dog. They want you to move and they're going to get what they ask for. They're not at this point asking you to pay rent. They're asking you to move. They didn't do it right. Paige Martin is Elizabeth Martin. I'm guessing, but I need a sworn live hearing to determine who's telling me the truth. But my advice, Mr. Martin, is you prepare to move. You don't have a lease. You're way behind on your rent. You got a dog in there in violation of the lease. And
Am I allowed to have some court-appointed counsel?
no, you're allowed to ask legal aid to assist you, but you don't get court-appointed counsel. Let me go back to why do you get to stay there if you're not paying?
All right, that is one of the few times that I don't agree with what Judge Middleton just said. I mean, I agree with what he said. He said the right thing, but he didn't say it's a civil matter. You don't get court-appointed counsel for civil matters. I think he should have said that. He kind of came off a little, I don't know, like, stop talking. You don't get counsel. Like that guy doesn't understand that, and now he's probably like, oh, like that's. I would have said, finish the statement, but that's how you know he's getting frustrated.
Any rent. They're alleging you haven't paid any rent since July or sometime later. You've also got a dog there. So I'm not kicking you out today like they're asking for, but it appears to me they've got a legitimate reason to ask you to move, not the least of which is you're not paying any rent. But I still haven't figured this stuff out about moving from room 64 to room 28. Someone's lying to me. Either he is or you are.
They moved me from 18 to 28, Your Honor.
And then not 64 to 28?
No. They moved us from 18 to 28 because of bed bug infestation.
Well, when did you move to 28?
Oh, man, that was...
Will you sit still? You're going to make me swoon here. Stay in one spot.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This is like, I understand like the eviction has to happen at some point, but I mean, I was never given like a notice to quit or any of that. Like I've not been given a fair.
All right, I agree with you. That's why I'm going to set it for a hearing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying, like I didn't plan on getting my finger blown off and like losing my job. Like after that, like I for medical reasons. You know what I'm saying, like, and now I'm waiting on disability to come through. Like I'm cool with leaving, but let's do this right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Fair enough. Let's set this.
I was muted. I'm not sure the tenant's lying. I think he might not have some of his own facts straight, but I really do think the landlord is doesn't have his facts straight at all. Nothing is right on the paperwork. And at the very beginning of the hearing, Judge Middleton did say that the new landlord recently purchased his property. He didn't say when. I think he just said recently. So everything might be messed up. Who knows?
Andrew, when is your brain surgery?
20th.
All right. How are you for Friday, February 16th at 1 o'clock?
Can we get the dog out of there before then?
Probably not. I could try to set it for, I set some stuff in here. How about we set this for Friday at 10:30?
Friday the 9th?
Friday the 16th.
At 10:30?
Yes.
I've got an 8:30 with Paul. I should be free by then.
All right. That will be live at court.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Martin, this is you and your wife.
All right. I just figured out who I think this tenant looks like. Do you guys know the meme? It's a young, it's like a youngish kid. I want to say maybe late teens. And it looks like he's sitting at a desk, maybe at a school. and he's like kind of forcing all the blood to rush to his head, and so his face gets really red. And then he has this like huge vein in his head that you can see, and it's a meme. It's like a meme default that people put different text over, but that's what this guy looks like. I don't know if I explained that well at all, but in my head, I know exactly who I'm talking about. I hope somebody out there gets it.
Paige and Jonathan Martin.
Yes, sir.
Do you receive mail at room 18 or room 28?
28, Your Honor, yes.
All right. I think his story is closer to the truth than yours is. I think he moved you from one room to another, but I can't tell what else beyond that. Also, if you contend that you've paid some rent somewhere, I paid rent somewhere. He says he hasn't paid rent since somewhere. Nobody knows what the heck's going on. You're not supposed to have a dog. If you move by February 16th, we don't even need to have a hearing, but it will be live in person. The number for legal aid is.
He's not in 64. He's in 28. He never was in 64. That's what he's saying. He said he was in 18 and they moved him to 28 because of bed bugs. The landlord's saying he was in 64 and they moved him to 28 because they didn't want him to freeze to death. So there might have been something wrong with the heat. That's what the landlord said. So that's just another fact that neither parties agree with.
Is Meg?
269.
Yep, of course he doesn't have anything to write on.
Yeah, I'm right here. I got it. 269
366
366
3385.
366 3385.
I will give her a heads up that you're gonna call her directly, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. And you said the hearing is at what time on the 16th?
It's at 10:30.
Okay, is it okay if I show up? My wife has work. I don't want her to have to miss work unless you guys need her there. I'll bring whatever documentation necessary.
No, she's the leaseholder. She isn't there. She's subject to default. So my suggestion is that she be there. All right, I'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I thought that was going to take 5 minutes. Andrew, that's all on you.
Hey,
We'll
that's what
figure it
you
out.
were thinking.
All right, bring your client, any documentation they have, we'll put it under oath
Yep,
and figure out which way is up.
got it.
Thank you. I think this would be a good case for the Cox Law Firm.
All right. Don't you all love the fact that I just started your Saturday off with a headache? I'm such a good person, aren't I? And Heineken, he still does them. He did one yesterday. I got a few of them. I don't have them in this video though, but I grabbed a few of them from yesterday, but he still does them. Debbie, what's going on? Good to see you. All right. I know. That was twice. He made both those girls laugh. Not gonna agree with the second part you said, but he made them both laugh. All right. This next one was a gift for Fred, but Fred isn't here. He's been asking for Jessica Blanche for 2 weeks, and I finally got one with Jessica Blanche from today, and he's not even here. And it's not even an exciting case. He's just been begging for Jessica Blanche, so I got him one, and he's not even here. So, you know what? He's just gonna have to watch it later.
Name, please, sir.
Scott Hammock.
Calling case number 24 FB 10 3, this is the people of the state of Michigan versus Scott Cassidy Hammock. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Scott Cassidy Hammock.
Okay. So, Mr. Hammock, criminal complaint has been filed against you. It alleges that on or about and between the dates of July 9th, 2021 through January 16th, 2024, that you did at...
I can't skip it. I can't. We are rating Johnny after this. He's got a live at 4 o'clock, and I've got about 30 minutes left, so it's going to time it perfectly. So if I skip it, the clip I have after this is only a 10-minute clip, and I don't have 20 minutes of stand-up comedy memorized where I could just tell you guys some jokes. So we're going to have to watch it, and we're just going to have to make fun of them next time we see them.
The locations of 940 Holmes Road, Apartment 4, and or 825 George Place, Apartment 11. You did make an assault upon Tara Stinson by strangulation or suffocation. This first count is also known as assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation. Do you understand that count?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in jail, a $5,000 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Count 2 alleges that you did make an assault upon Tara Stinson by strangulation or suffocation. Again, that is also known as assault with intent to do great bodily harm.
Oh yeah, I should have said trigger warning. This guy's accused of a lot of really bad things. Probably should have said that, but I was too focused on Fred and Jessica to yeah, sorry.
Less than murder or by strangulation. You understand that second count?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is also a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in jail, a $5,000 fine with court costs, or both. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Count 3. You did make an assault upon Tara Stinson by strangulation or suffocation. Again, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation, which is a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in jail, a $5,000 fine with court costs, or both. You understand that third count?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and count 4 charges that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Tara Stinson, an individual with whom you have a child in common, and or a resident or former resident of your household, and or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship. That is a second offense notice, which means that...
All right, ladies. We sit through all of your buff lift comments and we just laugh with you. So now that it's switched, you guys are all, oh, please stop. Everyone's turning into boys. We don't say that to you. Come on. Hee hee. See how I just turned the tables there?
You were previously convicted of assaulting or assaulting and battering a spouse, former spouse, or individual with whom you had a dating relationship or a child in common, or a resident or former resident of your household. And that was on or about February 15th, 2011. So do you understand the count 4, otherwise known as domestic violence?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because that is a second offense notice, that is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine with court costs, or both. So you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court wants to advise you that you have the right in this case to remain silent, and that's because anything that you say, whether orally or in writing, can be used against you in court. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney on your own, then at your request, and if you qualify, the court will appoint one at public expense, and that is why Attorney Meyer is here today.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have the Thank you. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all stages of these court proceedings, that is before, during, and after trial. And if any questioning were to take place by a police officer, you have the right to have an attorney with you before any questioning begins. The charges filed against you in this case are considered felonies. Therefore, you have the right to a preliminary examination, which must be scheduled within 21 days. A preliminary examination is an actual hearing held before a judge where the prosecution must present sufficient testimony and evidence to the court to establish two things. One is that there is probable cause to believe that a crime or crimes have been committed, and second, that there's probable cause to believe that you committed those crimes. It's a hearing to determine whether or not the case is strong enough to go to trial. If the court finds those things to be true, then the case will be bound over, that is transferred to circuit court, which is where your actual trial will take place. Do you understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Before the preliminary examination takes place, the court will schedule a probable cause conference, and that is an opportunity for your attorney and the prosecutor to meet to discuss your case for any possible resolution or address any issues that are present in the case. Your probable cause conference is set for February 15th, 2024 at 9 a.m. That will be at the 14A1 District Court in courtroom C. Do you understand all of that?
Is that the one downtown Ann Arbor, or is that the one above the county, or at the county jail?
It's the one.
Okay, I just want, yeah, no, sorry.
Okay. So the last thing the court is going to do now is set a bond. Bonds are set in all cases, and the purpose is two things: to assure appearance for all future court dates and for the protection of the public. And to that effect, Attorney Blanche, do you wish to address bond at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Jessica Blanche, lead domestic violence prosecutor on behalf of the people. Judge, the defendant's been charged with multiple felony strangulation domestic violence counts. I have no doubt we'll be adding more counts. We just have to nail down the dates and times the other violations have happened. But we wanted to get this warrant out as quick as possible because we're extremely concerned about the victim's safety in this case. We're asking for a $500,000 bond in this case, GPS tether on release, a no-go to a no contact with Tara, Mason, and David Stinson. We had the fugitive apprehension team go out and get the defendant because we were afraid that once he found out that the victim had come to the police after years of abuse, that he would come get her because he has sent threatening text messages and has called her threatening her. He told her that if she ever reports to the police that he would kill her. So we are extremely concerned. I'm also concerned about his history. He has prior domestic violence on his history. He also has multiple CSC charges on his history that he just was released from parole on, which I don't even think he's compliant on those charges for the sex offender registry, because where he's found and where he's residing right now, it does not match up to where he has reported on the registry. So I have high concerns about this defendant. So I'm asking for a $500,000 bond and all of the other domestic violence standard conditions. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Attorney Meyer?
All right. I didn't want to pause it while she was talking. Thank you so much, MB, for the PayPal. I very much appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Thank you. That was very generous.
Yes, Your Honor. First, as a preliminary matter, Andrew Meyer on behalf of Scott Hammock. He stands waive any further reading, any stand please.
Okay, thank you. The court accepts that he's standing mute to the charges at this time. You may proceed with.
Thank you. So with respect to bond here, I did provide the court with an address on George Place. I did kind of want to assuage any concerns regarding that address. It's my understanding from speaking with Mr. Hammock that the alleged victim no longer is living there, even though that's listed as the alleged venue. There's two addresses there, one the George Place address. And it's my understanding that the alleged victim is no longer residing there. So if he were to be released, I believe that could be a safe place where he could live. He would be living with his mother. Mr. Hammock tells me that he has several children. I think he says a total of 5 children who are still under the age of 18. They're all currently residing with their mother, and he does have a good relationship with them all, and is providing support to the extent that he's able to. He does have a job. He's worked at a Mr. Pizza on E-Course for the last 4 months. He's making some money, but a bond in the amount the state's requesting here would be not makeable for him. So I'm asking the court to consider a more reasonable bond with conditions. He also suffers from some back pain, and he indicates to me that he's 10 years sober from alcohol. He hasn't drank in over a decade. All things being said, I wouldn't have any objection to, I think in the state's bond request, they had mentioned a GPS tether or home confinement. I think that's something that Mr. Hammock would be agreeable to so that he can continue to work, continue to support his mother and his children, and certainly allow this to kind of play out in the court as however might be appropriate. But I do believe he'll be not a light risk, and if the GPS tether is put in place, I think that could address any potential concerns regarding the safety of the license.
Okay, thank you. At this time, the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess drugs, alcohol, or correction. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are to report to community corrections within 24 hours of release for drug and alcohol testing. You would need $12 and a photo ID. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to assault, terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, or stalk anyone, and specifically Tara Mason or David Stinson. You are not to have any contact with Tara Mason or David Stinson. And when the court says no contact, what the court means is no first-person contact, no contact via telephone, through phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet of any kind, nor third-party contact. You are not to go anywhere near Tara Mason or David Stinson. You are not to violate any other criminal laws. You are to personally appear for any and all court dates and other dates as set for you by the court. That first date being February 15th, 2024. Prior to release, you are to be equipped with a GPS tether.
Yeah, Heineken, I know you're, kind of being you right now, but I always find it interesting that the bond conditions are pretty much don't break the law, but they specifically say laws that they can't break. Because if they break the laws they specifically say not to break, then it's a bond violation. But they shouldn't have to. Breaking any law should be a bond violation. Just the same when you get busted for driving with a suspended license. A bond violation is don't drive unless you have a license. Like how? That's why you're here in the first place. It should just be don't break any laws, or that's a bond violation. So they are very specific, and yeah, that's a head scratcher for me too.
At this time, the court is setting a bond of $500,000 cash or surety. The bond and the conditions will be placed in the law enforcement information network that is LEAN, and that means that any police officer can easily find out about the bond and those conditions And if they have reason to believe that the bond or conditions have been violated in any way, they have a right to immediately arrest you. You will then be held for a bond violation hearing in front of a judge, and if the judge finds that you have violated a condition, then they have the authority to revoke the bond and set a brand new one. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nothing else from the attorneys?
No, thank you, Judge.
Judge, I just had one question. The date we're setting was February 15th, is that right?
Correct.
Is the court able to give him the February 8th date, or is that just going to be too soon? Is that going to be something what he's going to be held?
Okay, no, we were not given that as an option.
Just wanted to see.
Thank you. No, that is the February 15th date at 9 a.m.
Mr. Your Honor, may I just briefly address Mr. Hammock? It's critical you stay off the telephone while you're in the jail. So no phone calls about discussing anything about the case. It all will be recorded.
Have you guys ever heard a defense attorney say that on the record? That is really good advice from his defense attorney. We've seen hundreds of cases where people in the jail get in trouble for calling the witness they're not supposed to talk about or the victim. I mean, probably should say that in private, not on the record, but still, just don't call anybody. You don't have to. Just don't call anybody. You're not getting out. You don't have $500,000. You're not going anywhere.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hammock, if you don't have anything else for the court, you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you are finished.
So I'm remanded in custody until the 15th, until my court hearing, correct? Or the $500,000 bond is posted?
Attorney Meyer.
We couldn't hear you, Judge. I'm sorry.
Can you address your client's concerns?
Oh, your bond's $500,000 with the conditions the judge outlined. So if you're unable to post, it remains custody.
Okay.
All right. All right. Before we go into the last clip, thank you so much, Debbie, for your super chat. And yeah, I know. It is your glory. I get it. Also, thank you. Hold on. Suzanne, thank you so much for the $5 PayPal. I very much appreciate it. Very generous. I like PayPals. They make me smile. Well, so do super chats. And so does Heineken for some reason. All right. Last clip. We're going to Judge King. This is the clip that's on the thumbnail. This is a massive trigger warning. This guy is charged with some very nasty things. And I'm not playing the hearing. I'm only playing the end of it. The hearing was bad. I'm not going to go into it. It happened yesterday. If you guys want to see it, it happened yesterday. You'll see the defendant. Judge King doesn't remove his content very quickly, so the whole hearing's there. If you want the link to it, you can message me on Discord. You can email me. I'll send you the link to his courthouse if you're interested and want to watch it. I'm not going to play it for very obvious reasons. But this is the end where they're the prosecutor and the defense attorney give their statements. And the defense attorney has the wildest story ever. And then the defendant, has to have the last word. Judge King doesn't play games. We know this. Also, last thing, this is Judge King's courtroom. Audio's terrible. I know everyone's going to tell me the audio's terrible, but I did what I could. All right, let's go. Debbie, I told you I'd forget. I told you I would forget. She told me a week ago that her birthday was today. And I said, you're going to have to remind me because I'm going to forget. Debbie, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm not going to sing for you. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to punish you guys more than I already am with these clips. But yeah, happy birthday. Hey, thank you, Dr. Steph. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. And welcome to the new members.
Judge asked the matter be dismissed. Again,
I can harmonize decently. I don't have a singing voice, but I can harmonize. I was in, chorus and choir in high school because I'm a nerd, and I don't know why I decided to do that. But I'm good at singing in a group. I cannot sing by myself.
big issues as to credibility. I understand credibility is a condition to the finding of fact. However, the court does have discretion. Given the surrounding circumstances and the notion that a young girl was going to be sleeping on the street, and again, in order to perhaps say whatever she had to say to get a warm place to stay at night in the middle of December.
Of course, I had that in there.
Matter be dismissed.
And I checked this too.
You have to keep.
I didn't check it very good.
You indicated left. You want to go to Myers, is that correct?
I just want the final statements. That's all I want. Find it quickly,
Okay.
Colin. Find
You
it.
indicated in your statement that he was offered to go get some beverages.
I did. When you were on stream, I sang. You remember it. It wasn't, at least in my opinion, it's not terrible. It's not great. It's right there in the middle. You were there. Oh, and now I just went. Oh my God. This is my first day, guys. I just went to play it and I just rewound the video. After I just watched myself trying to find the right spot on the video because I didn't edit that out.
The notion that a young girl was going to be sleeping on the street. Discretion. Given the
All right, I'm just gonna play it.
Circumstances and the notion that a young girl was going to be sleeping on the street, and again, in order to perhaps say whatever she had to say to get a warm place to stay at night in the middle of December. So I would ask the court dismiss the matter. That's great.
Judge, I don't question the credibility issues at this point. Your Honor is in a great place to assess her credibility. I think she was part of the court coming as to what was going on. She held nothing back. She was very honest about, she was looking for a warm place to stay. She was happy to be by on her own, wherever she wanted to be. Judge, I don't think this is defending charges of credibility. Certainly is not.
Judge, and as to the as to the unlawful imprisonment, the allegation is that he wasn't there.
All right, now this is where I wanted to play it at, where the attorney is about to talk about unlawful imprisonment. Trying to say what this guy's charged with in a PG version is going to be very difficult. It has to do with a child. This guy's story is this child was homeless on the street. He gave her a place to stay, and he never told her she couldn't leave, even though the door was locked. So he's charged with like false imprisonment, and then essay. I'm not going to say that out loud. So it's a lot of really bad things. He gave this child marijuana and alcohol too, I believe. So this attorney is trying to trying to defend his client right now, and this is what he's talking about: the false imprisonment. And Judge King has an amazing response when he's done.
Into the store, in Detroit at the safety neighborhoods. There's no indication that she didn't have. Again, there's no indication that he was trying to intentionally lock her in. And the fact is, she couldn't figure out how to get out. But again, he, she said he was gone between a half hour and an hour, and he said he went to the store. This wasn't a situation where there had been hours or that he had said anything to her like, I'm not going to leave. Again, there was no indication of intention to forcibly keep her there. There's no indication that she said that she was going to be leaving when he said he's going to the store. Do you want anything? So again, I don't think there's no proof of probable cause of any intention of him to intentionally keep her locked in the home.
Okay. It's not lost on me that attorneys feel sometimes compelled to have to say something on behalf of their client. I get it. I've done defense work before, but this probably has to rank right up there as one of the most ridiculous arguments I've ever heard. And that's no spite on you, Mr. Braley. You're very creative, doing your job, representing this man. But this child, this baby, if you will, I don't care how tall she is, I don't care how big she is very much a child. She speaks very well, she's very articulate, she's very intelligent, but she quite frankly has some issues. We can tell that from her testimony. But credibility is not one of them. She was a very credible witness. She was a very intelligent, articulate witness. And apparently, according to her, this defendant took advantage of it. He brought a child back to his home and had sex with her. And she looks very much like a child. It doesn't matter, even if she did look old to him, even if she did say she was a college student, nowhere near a college student by way of her appearance. But even if that was in fact the case, the mere fact that he had sex with a child is all the people have to prove here. And I submit to you that that's exactly what they did. And she testified that not only that, he gave this child, this baby, marijuana. I have no issues with her credibility. No child should have had to ever come and sit in that chair and tell a room full of strangers how she was sexually assaulted. No child should have to reveal those kinds of things. It's shameful. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. This court, after hearing the testimony of the young lady, Ms. White, is satisfied that people have met their burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges contained in the complaint. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this predator committed. The defendant will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for the proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be February 9th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. What is this bond?
It's 500,000.
That sounds right. Bond continue.
Judge, may I request 250,000, 10%?
No, sir. Then I bond continue.
I ain't no predator.
Oh no, I was trying to pause it in between that. Oh, but all right, I'll rewind it like 2 or 3 seconds when I'm done here. But there's only about 30 seconds left of this video. We are going to raid Johnny. He started in 1 minute, so this is perfect. Chris, I think they said she's 13. I think it was 13. That's, if my memory is right, yeah, it's 13. I would have to go back and double check. I kept out the hearing because she did testify, and nobody needs to watch that. That's not, personally involved in it. If you want to, just, I'll send you the link to Judge King's courtroom. Happened yesterday. It was later in the day, so I don't remember the exact timestamp, but he does his hearings after lunch. So last couple hours of his docket yesterday. So you can hear the whole thing yourself. But it's not good. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming. Before I leave, Heather, thank you so much for the PayPal. Very generous. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for their super chats. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, MB, for the PayPals. Debbie, thank you for the super chat. See, Dr. Steph for the gifted membership, and Pup Mom for the super sticker. Thank you, everybody. Happy birthday, Debbie. All right, I think I got all the important stuff out of the way. I'm gonna let this play out. I'm going to peace out, and we're gonna go hang out with Johnny for a little bit. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Have a great Saturday, and as always, stay safe. You don't want to end up on my channel. Till next time. But Heineken, I always appreciate it when you're here, and I don't give you enough credit, but I'm gonna say 50% of the time, I laugh at your comments every time. You are like I always get your sarcasm, even though not everyone always does, but I always get your sarcasm. And I wait did you super chat me? If you did, it hasn't come through yet, Heineken. If you're being serious, I can't tell. Yeah, Heineken, it hasn't come through yet. If you have, I'm sorry, but I'll say thank you right now. Thank you, Heineken. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, that's all we got. But yeah, sorry, Heineken. I don't know. But thank you if you did. And I will, at the beginning of my next stream, I will thank you again when it comes through. All right, let's go hang out with Johnny, everybody. Cash App. My Cash App notifications have not been going off. Hold on. I'll check real quick. Yes, I did get it. Thanks, buddy. I don't know what's going on with my Cash App, but I'm not getting the emails for it anymore. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm trying to see what. Oh, yep. I was trying to see if you had a comment. There was no comment. I wanted to make sure I read what you said. But thank you. And as always, I'm not gonna dox you. All right, now we're done. Let's go hang out with Johnny. Let's finish this guy. And I'm just gonna rewind it a couple seconds just so you can hear him. Because when he's walking away, that's when the defendant starts mouthing off to Judge King. All right, let's see. I don't want to rewind it too far.
Judge, may I request 250,000, 10%?
No, sir. Then I file it to you.
I ain't no predator,
Yes.
Your Honor. She lied about her age. I don't care what you want to say.
She wanted to see the back of the baby.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
she'll do that to another 100 people.
Stop it,
You
man.
know I ain't no
That's a
fucking predator,
That's a
motherfucker.
baby. You need help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be quiet, man. Be quiet.
Yes,